So taking a good look at the Shovelhead, just to begin with, trying to figure out exactly what we're going to need here. Parts wise, first off, from front to back, very clearly it's leaking from the fork seals. So I've got a leaky fork seal over here, and it's actually dripping off the bottom of the bike. So we're going to need to get a kit for fork seals here, probably go ahead and rebuild the forks up front here and get the full rebuild kit for the front forks. Also, these front brakes, this really interesting drum brake over here, that doesn't really work. So I'm probably going to also have to find brake pads or brake shoes for that as well. And according to the gentleman I purchased this from, this is an early 60s FL panhead front end. So I should be able to find both the seals and hopefully the brake shoes based on that description. So there's that. That's one thing that needs to be done. Obviously, the oil leaks need to be addressed, and I've got a whole bunch of oil line that I picked up. I've got a couple of different types of oil line here because I went the first time and got 212 degree oil line and had to go back and get something that was rated for a little bit higher temperature. So I've got a couple of different ones there. I can probably use the lower temperature stuff for the vent tube for the crankcase vent, but that's obviously got to get done, and I have pretty much everything I need to do that. I have ordered the carburetor rebuilding kit for this because this just drips fuel out of it when you turn the fuel on. So I'm going to take this apart and clean it up and give it a rebuild. And that's probably all that stands in the way of this thing actually running. So that's going to be key to get this thing started up. Then moving back a little further, I noticed quite a bit of movement here. You can see quite a lot. Now, some of that, to be fair, is if you can see right in the space here, there's a lot of that movement is actually the kick on the shaft right there. So some of that movement actually is the shaft itself. If I can tighten that up maybe by twisting it, you can see that there is a little bit of movement in the shaft itself. So this cover has got to come off here. I think there's a bushing that's pressed in here. I think there's actually two bushings pressed in here that need to be pulled out, and then new bushings pressed in, and then that shaft will be tight. And it's not quite as bad as it looks because there's the compounded play between the kick and where it attaches to the shaft, and then the shaft itself. Like I say, if I tighten that up, you can kind of see that the movement, there is quite a bit of movement in the shaft itself. So bushings, maybe get a whole rebuild kit for the kick and replace the shaft, maybe look at the gears and such inside here as well. That's the major stuff on this side. It does need the appropriate battery because the battery I put on here originally just to get it to fire over and check it out a little bit, that was off of my Enduro Dual Sport, and that isn't the right battery for it. So we're gonna get the right battery for it, put the terminals on the right side, and then I can put the battery cover back on. So I do need that as well. Tires, front and back. It's gonna need front and back tires, even though the back one has pretty much no wear on it. Date code's out of date, so probably not a safe tire. So gonna have to do tires as well. So that's the start of it. So otherwise, you know, it's a pretty complete bike. So she's actually not very far away from getting going. Just a little bit of stuff to bring it back to life, and we can probably get this thing started pretty easily with just a carburetor rebuild. I'm sure that some other stuff will crop up here and there, but in the first go round, the first look over this thing, it's not too bad. It's actually it's pretty encouraging.